Some people like to write this fight off extremely quickly by saying Flash fought a much stronger version of Garou and would just whoop on Bang because of that. This is because Garou was asleep against Bang, which in his fight with Darkshine was blatantly shown to lower his combat ability. People just want to ignore the context of how or why Garou is being weakened. In the Viz translation of the manga, Garou says he thrashes in his sleep and he proceeds to start using the Water Stream Rock Smashing Fist, which I'm going to abbreviate to the Water Fist for the rest of the video. Darkshine follows this up by saying Garou's muscular coordination has improved, which is basically the way we use our muscles and how efficiently we do so. In the commonly used fan translation, Garou just says he's not a pretty sight in his sleep, and Darkshine says the exact same thing. The reason Garou is weaker is because he isn't using his muscles properly and isn't using proper technique. It's not that sleeping causes his muscles to deflate and his legs to move slower, but even if it did, it wouldn't matter, as we'll see too in a minute. When fighting Bang, Garou was clearly able to use high-level techniques even in his sleep. He perfectly matched Bang's usage of the Whirlwind Iron Cutting Fist, and Bomb verbatim states that Garou was using a combination of all his fighting styles and refined them into a new style. By the end of the fight, he does the Roaring Sky Aura Ripping Fist, a combination of Bang and Bomb's techniques that is usually impossible to do alone. This means that skill-wise, and the way Garou uses his muscles and body, he should be operating at peak performance. And we can take this a step further. Near the beginning of the fight, Garou uses the Awakening Breath, which is stated to draw from his very limits, and then uses the Exploding Heart Release Fist, which is also stated to go beyond his limits. This means in terms of stats, or AP and speed, Garou should be at his absolute peak. Another problem I have is that people claim Garou got stronger by beating Bang, but I see no evidence of that. People will usually say that one-shotting Fear Ugly and fighting Platinum S, but that just means those are feats Bang is capable of as well. For those that think Garou just arbitrarily gets stronger by winning a fight, this isn't exactly the case. While Garou does state many times that he gets stronger, this is often in reference to learning new fighting styles, such as how he adapted to Spring Mustachio's swordplay, or confirmed that bullets wouldn't work on him. He definitely does get stronger through combat, but that's usually against opponents far above his level, like Darkshine, Rover, etc. There's no visual or verbal implications that Garou got amped by fighting Bang. He was just always stronger than Bang, so he had no reason to get stronger. I know that was a long-winded explanation, but I needed to get it out of the way to establish that the fight isn't as simple as Flash fought a stronger version of Garou. In fact, they effectively fought the same guy in terms of power, speed, and skill. And now that's established, we can go over how each one stacks compared to Garou. Let's do Bang first because he gets to skip the line with his senior ID. Bang at full power is blatantly capable of damaging and clashing with Garou. He draws blood from Garou and ultimately cracks a portion of his monster shell exterior. If you think Bang didn't do this with his own strength, but rather by deflecting Garou's strength with his martial arts, that just means Bang can deflect attacks that powerful. Bang does take more damage than he dishes out, showing Garou of course does hit harder, but Bang also does withstand numerous attacks from Garou throughout the whole fight. Bang's combat speed is actually just blatantly better than Garou's. Throughout the fight, Garou barely lands a couple of hits on Bang, and when he does, it's usually after Bang already lands combos of attacks. Even when Garou does hit Bang, it's usually as a counterattack, or it's because they hit each other at the exact same time. At the end of the fight, when Garou should supposedly be his fastest, Bang deflects almost all of Garou's attacks and lands a full straight punch while Garou can only land a graze in retaliation. This could just be because of Bang's experience and skill, but that would play a factor in a fight against anyone of Garou's speed and skill. We'll go over Bang's combat skills later, as they are very important, so for now, let's talk about Flash's scaling to Garou. Flash jumps in almost right after Bang and fights Garou and Platinum S in a three-way deadlock. In this battle, they jump around the sky creating a huge structure of light trails behind them, clashing hundreds or perhaps thousands of times. This obviously means in terms of strength, speed, and durability, Flash is somewhat relative to Garou and Platinum S, but he is still blatantly inferior to them in these aspects. In terms of speed, Flash doesn't land a single hit on Garou, at least on screen, the entire fight. He can react to Garou, yeah, but he only lands a single hit on screen the entire fight, and it's against Platinum S. In this scene, however, it's explained that he abandoned reason and just tried to protect his pride as a speedster. Garou also reacts to a kick from Flash with his back completely turned, and deflects him every time they get in close combat range. If that isn't enough to convince you Flash is slower than Garou, here he is right here admitting Garou surpasses his speed. Don't get me wrong, he is relative to Garou, just definitively slower. For power, we actually have a very direct comparison. When Flash gets enraged, he Flash Fists Platinum S and lands at least 7 confirmed punches before getting blocked by Platinum Rings. This barrage of punches does no more than scuff Platinum S' face, at best, since that could be damage that Garou had already given him. In comparison, Garou, after just waking up from fighting Bang, can crack and dent his face with 1 punch, and then do this with just 1 punch again later. And we also see whenever they do hit Flash, they almost always draw blood even when attacking his back, which is one of the strongest parts of the body. Because of that, we can concretely say that without his sword, Flash is much physically weaker than Garou. With his sword is a different story, since with his sword he was able to chop in half Galewind and Hellfire, who had previously taken flashy kicks right beforehand. This doesn't mean that every single casual swing from Flash is far above his physical strength, but the flashy slash, which he calls his ultimate technique, could probably one-shot someone on the same level as his normal physical strength. That combined with Platinum S' statement that he's weakened would imply that had he had his sword, he could deliver far more lethal damage. Now that we've broken it down, Bang seems to have the edge in combat speed and reactions, while Flash hits harder with his sword. This might come as a surprise, since Flash is known for his speed, but be aware I'm mainly talking about combat speed. I'm not saying Bang can jump around and run as fast as Flash, I'm just saying in hand-to-hand combat, he'd be faster. There's a guidebook that says Flashy Flash is the fastest man in the S-Class, but again, this could apply to his running speed or short distance travel speed. The guide is also extremely questionable and shows lack of knowledge on certain characters like Blast and Pig God. It also states that Atomic Samurai is the strongest swordsman, which would scale him above Flash, with Bang and Atomic Samurai being rivals would favor Bang if anything. People also have a problem saying Bang is faster than Light, but why? If you don't have a problem saying Flash is light speed, why Bang? Is it because Flash was stated light speed but Bang wasn't? Awakened Cockroach is also stated faster than Light, and both Genos and Atomic Samurai react to beams of light. Are we gonna say that early Genos and Awakened Cockroach are faster than Bang's combat speed? People just like to dismiss those early light speed feats because those characters don't seem that fast, but I guess Flashy does seem that fast. It's literally a nothing argument with nothing to substantiate it. If anything, I'd say the fact that Bang did better against Garou would say he should be light speed too. Another argument for Flash commonly brought up is that he tanked Garou's Monster Calamity Godslayer Fist, while Bang was defeated by a graze from the Sky Fist. People failed to see that Garou had yet to actually master the God Fist. He was actually still working on it. It's imperfect when he fights Flash. He doesn't perfect it until he defeats Sage Centipede. And in the Sage Centipede fight, people miss the fact that Garou actually uses the Sky Fist and the Cross-Fang Dragon Slayer Fist instead of the God Fist. Why would Garou use these supposedly weaker techniques when he's trying to save a helicopter full of people? He wouldn't. It's just that the imperfect God Fist wasn't stronger yet. We already know fusing 2 martial arts is a feat even Bang can't do, so imagine how difficult it is for Garou to fuse over 10. Of course it's going to be more difficult to fuse them into a functioning fighting style. Think of it like you're multitasking with 2 things, then suddenly you add 2 more tasks. Suddenly you're doing worse at all 4 things than you would be just doing 1 at a time. This could explain why Garou would go for the Sky and Cross-Fang Fists, because they have less components, and they're already mastered and much more powerful compared to an unmastered God Fist. I've said fist in this video so many times. Also consider the God Fist is explained as Garou absorbing all styles and creating his own technique. And Bomb says that Garou has combined all styles and refined them into his own technique. It's the exact same description. Obviously, the technique wasn't named yet because Garou was sleeping, and coincidentally, right after waking up, he names the technique he had been working on for the entire series, as the guide explains his self-styled martial arts. Because of this, you can't argue that the God Fist that hit Flashy is stronger or as strong as the Sky Fist that hit Bang. I'm adding this part of the video after I finished recording, but there are of course bad arguments for Bang as well, but you'll notice more of them are in the realm of spurgy fanboys and are more easily disputed. Like, oh, Bang can deflect energy beams, Flash can't do that. But there are a few I do want to go over. No, just because Bang has a higher hero rank does not mean he is stronger. King is believed to be the strongest hero, but he's not rank 1. And in reality, he's the weakest hero, but he's not at the bottom. He's at the middle, which makes no sense if the ranking is based on combat power. Flash is also rated lower than Darkshine and Atomic Samurai, two characters he straight up outperforms against Platinum S. The hero ranking is stated to be based on many factors, not just strength. Flash as well has this narrative that he never shows off his true power, and likes to hide his accomplishments without leaving a trace. So, the Hero Association probably has no idea how strong Flash really is. And also, no, Bang would not blitz Flashy Flash because he blitzed Saitama in this one OVA. It is impossible to know how hard Saitama was trying here. Despite being enraged, Saitama doesn't try to unalive people, especially someone like Bang. Later on, Saitama is clearly far superior to monsterized Garou, when a weaker Garou was competitive to a full power Bang. I did say Bang was faster, but not by so much he was just completely blitzing Garou. The fight was still competitive. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, Bang is going to violate Flash in close quarters combat. While Flash is extremely skilled to make other genius level ninja look stupid by comparison, Bang was able to make Garou look like a complete novice when Garou at this point basically only fights with skill. After Garou uses his mock God Fist against him, Bang is still able to keep up and deflect almost all of his attacks while reading him like a book the entire time. He's stated several times to be the best at martial arts, and the guide states his skill transcends mastery entirely. Statements way above Flashy Flash just being a genius. The Water Fist, which is called the ultimate defensive art, lets Bang deflect attacks much stronger than he is. Garou, who was a novice at the time, could deflect up to 8 of Orochi's horns at the same time, when just a single horn could penetrate his gut. Bang even deflects most of Garou's Sky Fist when just a single punch would have destroyed all his bones. Oh yeah, and it also works on blades. This means that even though Flash could definitely do serious or even lethal damage with his sword, Bang is more than capable of deflecting those same attacks. And since the Water Stream can also redirect that power back at the opponent, Bang could just hit Flash with his own Flashy Slash and one-shot him. Flash does get enraged if he feels he's outclassed, which could amp his speed and allow him to actually hit Bang. But as Platinum S puts it, when this happens, Flash is full of openings. Bang, who's described as parrying the enemy's attack, then landing a powerful blow in their unguarded spots, would probably abuse this and further stomp Flash after deflecting his attacks. Mind you, I'm not saying it's impossible for Flash to win. After all, the video was called Why Silver Fang vs Flashy Flash is close. I'm just saying Bang wins more often than he doesn't. I do believe if Flash were to land a full power Flashy Slash, he would probably chop Bang in half, but with his superior combat speed, I think Bang would be able to read him like a book, guard anything Flash hits him with, and then simply outbox him, deflect his own attacks back at him, and outlast him.